Gemini, welcome to your astrology reading for the month of December. So before I get into this, this is going to be most applicable for your rising sign, which is how other people perceive you. It's still applicable for your sun sign, which is how you express yourself, and then also your moon sign, which is how you process everything emotionally, internally, all of that. And so understanding all three will give you a better picture on how the month is going to play out for you. And just kind of jumping into the energy of the month, we have Neptune, Mercury, and Chiron all stationing direct. Then we also have Mars stationing retrograde. And this one's kind of a bigger deal only because it happens every 2 years. And so I'll jump into it just because there's a lot to talk about. So right away on December 1st, and so now this is going to be depending on your time zone. It's my time zone December 1st because I'm on the eastern side of the United States. If you're in any other time zone after me, so time behind me at all, then it's probably going to happen on November 30th. For me, it's at 1:21 in the morning Eastern time, and so it's the new moon in Sagittarius. This new moon in Sagittarius is very much focused on growth and expansion, and let's go after and do whatever it is that we're trying to accomplish here, because it's Sagittarius energies are this kind of optimistic energy. It's also about getting to the truth. It's about being able to see things from that kind of high level, big picture perspective here. For you, Gemini, this is your opposing sign. So where this is impacting you is in your significant connections. So your marriage partner, if you're married, or just really those close relationships that you have with other people. And this is going to feel really good for you because it's how you feel about this relationship, anything that you want to do to grow and expand this relationship, all being highlighted during this new moon. During this new moon, we'll also have a trine to Mars and Leo. And so what this means is that whatever's happening within your significant relationship here, so marriage if you're married, really it's about long-term partners. That's the 7th house energy. And so there's something about the way that you feel about this relationship and growing this relationship that easily flows with whatever action that you're trying to take as it relates to the way that you communicate, or maybe stepping out of your comfort zone a little bit here. And so it's an easy blend of energy. You might be maybe more bold in this relationship and really trying to step out of your comfort zone, maybe pursue it a little bit differently here, or kind of take it to a different level. That communication, let's take it to the next level. Let's step out of our comfort zone here. There's also a trine to Chiron retrograde in Aries. And so this Chiron for you is sitting in your 11th house. So Chiron it's an asteroid. So it's a wound that's been coming to the surface. We've pretty much been dealing with this the entire year, and probably no surprise here. The way that this is playing out for you, there's things happening within your significant relationships, those kind of really interpersonal one-to-one relationships. If you're not married, you still have those close relationships with people. And so it would be something about what you're doing and growing and expanding those relationships that helps you heal a wound that's connected to other relationships in your life. Because that Chiron is sitting in your house of community. Think of your group of friends, the people that you surround yourself with by choice. So it's not the individual relationships there as much as it's the collective. So there's something about your relationship style kind of maybe helping you here aid and heal that wound. And then during this new moon, we'll have a square to Saturn in Pisces. And so Saturn in Pisces is sitting in your 10th house of career and public reputation. So when it comes to any kind of work that you're trying to do, any kind of goals that you've set for yourself as it relates to your career, maybe the life that you're trying to unfold for yourself, it's going to be a little bit more difficult during this new moon in order to work on that. It's not going to stick around for very long. The new moon energy only sticks around for a few days because the moon moves really fast. And so it's just more of today's not really the day for it. And then we have the sun and moon opposite Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. So Jupiter retrograde in Gemini, it's in your sign. This indicates that you've been doing a lot of inner growth, a lot of inner evaluation, figuring out what you need to grow and expand. How do you grow and expand? It's very much your energy, getting into the details there. And so whatever's happening with your significant other or those significant relationships, it is opposite anything that you're trying to do within yourself. It's kind of that push-pull energy. You just have to find a way to work with it if that's your goal during this time. Or you could just let it be and pick it up another time, because there's a lot of this kind of energy throughout the month. And then on the 6th, we have Mars station retrograde in the sign of Leo. So that's going to happen at 6:33 in the afternoon Eastern time. And again, for you, it's sitting in your house of communication. So this could also be like your siblings, your neighbors, all those kind of short distance, anything that's kind of within that distance to you. This indicates that whatever action you've been doing, maybe stepping out of your comfort zone, communicating differently, being very bold and dynamic, and all of these different ideas that you have coming to the surface that you've just been dying to express here, because Leo is also very creative. This indicates that you're kind of going to take that information, you're going to take that action and turn it inward. So whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, what you're doing during this Mars retrograde is really evaluating everything internally. What actions do you need to take? What's your role in this situation here? How do you kind of, I don't know, I'm getting a sense of like take your power back or take more control over a situation. Really use this time to focus on inward, on what you understand you need to do, what actions you should be taking, really thinking things through. When Mars stations retrograde in Leo, it will trine the Sun in Sagittarius. And so the way that you're expressing yourself with your significant other, this is an easy blend of energy. We saw it earlier in the month and we're seeing it again, but now Mars is retrograde. So whatever action that you're taking, whatever internal action that you're taking, the way that you're communicating, things like that, it's going to easily blend with the way that you're expressing yourself in that really significant relationship. It will also trine Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius. And so that's a lot of retrograde energy. We have Mars and Mercury, both retrograde. So there's a lot of inward reflection, a lot of inward action that you're doing during this time as it relates to your significant other. Mars retrograde in Leo is opposite Venus in Capricorn. And so Venus in Capricorn is all about strategy. Let's come up with a plan. Let's set ourselves up for something here long term. And Venus, I mean, it's about focusing on what you value. This is sitting in your 8th house of transformation. So there might be things that you want to get rid of because they just don't align with your long-term plans, or they're just not things that you value or really hold any weight for you anymore. And so that's the Venus and Capricorn energy and the way that it's impacting you. So whatever actions that you're taking as it relates to the way that you communicate, or maybe the action that you want to take, or anything along those lines, anything that's now internal, it's going to be opposite that Venus and Capricorn energy. So it's about one or the other. Right now, the more dominant energy is this Mars retrograde energy. And then we have Mars retrograde trine Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And so Neptune retrograde in Pisces is sitting in your 10th house of career and public reputation. So when it comes to getting some sort of clarity on your goals and your dreams in your career, whatever internal communication is going on or internal action that you're taking, it's really helping you in this situation too. It's helping you gain the clarity that you need. Okay, well, I saw that I'm having issues with holding on to something, long-term plans, but maybe let me focus on my career and let's think about my career. What do I want to do? What are my actual plans here? Let's get clear on this. So this is going to help you, this internal action, internal communication that you're doing. Mars in Leo will be opposite Pluto in Aquarius. And so Pluto in Aquarius for you is sitting in your 9th house of growth and expansion. And so what's happening over here is Mars in Leo, there's a lot of internal action, a lot of internal communication. So the time for growth and expansion just doesn't feel like right now. That's why I'm getting this opposition energy, because Pluto in Aquarius wants to break you free from whatever structures are in place. Let's liberate you. Let's kind of set you free so you can grow and expand. But you're in a place of kind of evaluating and taking some sort of internal action on what you currently have. It's not about this growth and expansion. It's about, okay, let's take a look at what I have right now. Then we have Venus enter the sign of Aquarius. So a lot of this is all back to back. So this is going to happen on the 7th at 1:14 in the morning Eastern time. So it's literally 7 hours after Mars stations retrograde. We have Venus enter Aquarius. And so Aquarius, again, is sitting in your 9th house of growth and expansion. So when it comes to what you value, what you want to pursue here, Venus left Capricorn. Now it's in this 9th house energy. So what do you need to be liberated from? Because Venus moving into Aquarius, Pluto's right there. So anything that you need to release, anything that's just not working for you anymore, anything that you probably already intuitively know, I can be done with that. I need to close out this cycle, because that's what Pluto wants you to do. It's that death and rebirth energy. It's let's release something so you can make room for something else. And this is where Venus in Aquarius is saying, okay, but let's grow and expand what I love and value. Let's hold on to that energy, get rid of other things so that I can make room for this in my life right now. And then we have Venus opposite Mars, a retrograde in Leo. And the interesting thing about this, we saw it the day before too. We've got Mars and Venus on opposite sides. Venus likes to bring things together. Mars likes to separate things. And even from that perspective, you can already see how one is opposite the other. But you've got Mars retrograde in Leo. So that internal reflection that you're doing, any kind of internal action, again, it's going to be opposite anything that you want to grow or expand here. And so where the day before it was, maybe a little bit more focused on stabilizing something, here it's more about growth and expansion. And so there's kind of that energy coming into play here. Then we have Venus in Aquarius, trine Uranus, a retrograde in Taurus. And so when it comes to what you want, what you love, what you value, growing and expanding it, it's allowing for other changes to take place within you, because that Uranus retrograde in Taurus, more internal change taking place here. It's sitting in your 12th house, which is your inner self. It's you away from the public. It's you, it's your subconscious, but it's really like, it's the spiritual side of you. I'm trying to tap into exactly what I'm feeling here, but it's more about, I have these ideas and I want to grow and expand. And so in order for that to happen, I need to have some sort of internal shift. And I am picking up like some sort of spiritual internal shift where things are maybe starting to click and things are kind of starting to move in the right direction. That's the Uranus energy. Uranus wants to suddenly remove things from your life that just don't work for you anymore. And so I like to see how this is playing out, because this indicates that there is some sort of progress that's being made when it comes to you going after exactly what you want here. And then we do have Venus in Aquarius, sextile Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And so when it comes to your career and the goals that you're trying to set for yourself, whatever it is that you want to grow and expand, whatever you love, whatever you value here, it is creating some sort of opportunity to help you get even more clear on what your career goals are. How do you see that playing out long term? And then the same day, we have a Neptune stationed direct in the sign of Pisces. So Neptune is the planet of dreams and goals and things like that. It's actually the ruler of Pisces, which is the same energy. So having Neptune stationed direct in Pisces, where there might have been a lot of internal reflection, trying to get clear on exactly what your goals are, what your dreams are, how do you make them a reality? Now that information is changing. So it's not this internal reflection anymore. It's about some sort of external exploration. Okay, let's think about this. Let's maybe put something out into the universe. I'm clear on whatever it is that I want to do. That's what Neptune direct is all about. That is sitting in your house of career and public reputation. So you probably have been, this entire time that Neptune's been retrograde, trying to figure out what goals do you have for yourself? What kind of career do you want to be in? When Neptune stations direct, it's going to sextile both Venus and Pluto in Aquarius. And so Venus, what you love, what you value, wanting to bring things together. Pluto, let's get rid of all the stuff that just doesn't work for you so we can focus here more on what you love and value. And so we can make more room for that in your life. And so this is where, I mean, it's an opportunity. You would have to seize the opportunity here, but whatever you've been working on from a career standpoint, it seems to be able to help you grow and expand if you want. This Neptune in Pisces will trine Mars retrograde in Leo. And that Mars retrograde in Leo, again, sitting in your third house of communication, short distance travel. So any kind of interaction that you're looking to take or maybe have been taking, whatever you're trying to accomplish in your career easily blends with this internal action that you're taking. So there's a lot of synergy between these two. We saw that earlier in the month and it's still there. And then we have Neptune in Pisces, sextile Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so when it comes to those sudden internal changes that are happening again, understanding your career goals, being very clear, very focused on going after those career goals, it creates an opportunity for more of that internal spiritual type of change to take place. It could be that your entire mindset is changing as a result of, oh, you know what? Those are my career goals. I'm very clear on those now. Let me go after them. But in order to go after them, I need to shift maybe the way that I see myself or the actions that I take. There's some sort of shift that's happening within you, or maybe even just the belief that you could achieve those. That would be part of this energy. This one here, I mean, it's creating an opportunity for change. That doesn't necessarily mean there will be, it's there. And then on the 15th, we have the full moon in Gemini. So that's going to happen at 4:02 in the morning Eastern time. And here, because it's in your sign, we've got the sun sitting in Sagittarius, we've got the moon sitting in your sign. So it's a lot of how do you feel about your significant other, that relationship here, versus, how do you feel about yourself? The way that you're expressing yourself with your partner is just different than the way that you maybe see yourself or view yourself, feel about yourself. And so that's that opposition energy. And because we've got the sun opposite the moon in your sign, we also have Jupiter retrograde in your sign. So any kind of inner growth and expansion here, it's going to be opposite the way that you're expressing yourself with your significant other. But it fully aligns with the way that you feel about yourself. So you can kind of see how all this energy is playing out. And then we have both the sun and the moon. They're actually forming a T-square. So Neptune and Pisces. Now we just went direct a few hours ago when this takes place. But this T-square that's happening, it's impacting your career. And really what's happening right now is you've got your significant other, you've got you, how you feel about yourself, the way that you're expressing yourself in this relationship here. Both are creating obstacles and challenges for you going after your career goals. But this is not an energy that sticks around. The moon is a very fast-moving energy, and so it only spends a couple of days per sign, and then it's out. And so this is not going to last long at all. Just know that around the 15th, it might be a little bit more difficult for you to work on your goals, go after your career dreams here. That doesn't mean you can't. You certainly can. You just have to put more effort in than you normally would. And then we have the sun and moon both talking to Chiron in Aries. And so that wound that it relates to your friends, maybe the way that you see your friendships, things like that, the way that you're expressing yourself with your significant other easily blends with healing a wound there. So this is a lot of my interaction with my significant other, the relationship I have there. You can take a lot of those fundamentals, apply them to the relationships you have with your friends, and be able to heal a wound there. The moon in Gemini will sextile this Chiron retrograde in Aries. And so when it comes to healing this wound as it relates to your friends, the way that you feel about yourself, and I'm just like getting a sense of confidence. It's just the way that you're seeing yourself, the way that you feel about yourself. It's creating an opportunity for you to work on that wound, really do something here to kind of help heal that wound with your friends. And then the same day that we have the full moon in Gemini, we have Mercury stationing direct. So that's going to happen at 3:56 in the afternoon Eastern time. And so Mercury, being the planet of communication, it has been retrograde in Sagittarius since November 25th, and we're going to be in the post shadow until January 2nd. So the energy will dissipate, but we're still in that kind of, are things a little confusing, that kind of energy. And for you, because it is sitting in that 7th house, it's that significant other, that significant relationship in your life. Now, if conversation may have been a little bit more difficult in the past, I don't pick up that energy from you, but regardless, it's going to get a lot more clear, because that Mercury in Sagittarius wants to express a lot of things outward. Instead of inner processing of this information, it's a lot of outward expression, a lot of optimism, high-level thinking, high-level energy coming out of you with your significant other. And this Mercury in Sagittarius will sextile Venus in Aquarius. And so these conversations that you're having with your significant other, these kind of positive, let's talk about long term, let's talk about growth and expansion, like whatever the conversations are, creates an opportunity for you to grow and expand, because we've got Sagittarius, which is all about growth and expansion. So Mercury loves this energy, wants to talk about let's grow and expand. We've got the 9th house on the other side, that Aquarius energy is sitting in your house of growth and expansion. So whatever conversations you're having with your significant other, it's creating an opportunity for you to really focus on what you love so that you can grow and expand that. This does require effort on your part. It's not something that's just going to happen on its own. And we'll also have Mercury trine Mars retrograde in Leo. So when it comes to your communication here, because we've got a lot of communication with the Mercury, with the third house, the way that you're talking to your significant other, the content of the conversations, it easily flows with maybe the way that you talk to yourself or any kind of internal action that you want to take for yourself here. Mercury will be opposite Jupiter retrograde in Gemini because we've got the Sagittarius Gemini thing happening again. So any kind of conversations you're having with your significant other, they're going to be opposite any kind of inner growth that you're going after. We've seen this energy. It's here again. It won't last. Mercury is also a pretty fast-moving planet. We'll also have Mercury square Saturn in Pisces. And so when it comes to working on your career goals here, that's Saturn in Pisces energy, the conversations you're having with your significant other make it a little bit more difficult right now for you to really go after those career goals, really work on that right now. And it's just more of, let me focus my effort and energy outside of work as opposed to being at work, something along those lines. You can certainly work with this energy. It's a square, so it just requires more effort. And then we have Mercury trine Neptune in Pisces. And so these conversations with your significant other, they're easily going to flow with your career goals in general. So where it's more difficult to work on that right now, it's not difficult to talk about them or express them with your significant other and really kind of maybe brainstorm about those. Like, what do you think is achievable? What's not achievable here? Because again, Sagittarius wants to grow and expand. So looking for that feedback, all that kind of information. So I like to see that kind of play out that way. And then we have Mercury sextile Pluto in Aquarius. And so Pluto in Aquarius, these are changes that could be happening within your 9th house. Now, this is one that you would have to make some sort of effort. You would have to seize this opportunity that's being presented. But having these kind of high-level conversations with your significant other, it is creating an opportunity for you to let go of something that's maybe holding you back. It's stifling your growth in some sort of way here. And then we have the sun enter the sign of Capricorn. So this is the solstice, and I'm in the Northern Hemisphere. So personally, I love that we're going to start getting minutes of daylight because the less than 12 hours that I have right now, not my favorite. So love to see the sun enter Capricorn. We're almost there. That's going to happen on the 21st at 4:21 in the morning Eastern time. And so the sun in Capricorn for you is sitting in your 8th house. This is going to be you expressing maybe your plans. What is your strategy here? What kind of long-term goals are you setting for yourself? What kind of strategy are you implementing in order to achieve those goals? What do you need to let go of in order to make those goals a reality? Because this is sitting in your 8th house, which is death and rebirth. This could also be connected to finances. There could be things like you want to buy a house. Well, that requires a mortgage. A mortgage would fall in the 8th house. If part of your plan is to create some sort of savings, then it kind of relates back to the money that's coming in, the money that you earn from an employer or something like that. That's 8th house energy. And so that is really going to be highlighted here when the sun enters Capricorn. The only challenging aspect I'm seeing right away is a square to Mercury and Sagittarius. So if there is something here that you're trying to release, it's just going to be opposite anything that you're trying to do to maybe grow and expand in your relationship with your significant other here. And then we have Chiron stationed direct on the 29th at 4:13 in the afternoon Eastern time. And so Chiron being the wounded healer here, wounded warrior, however you want to reference it, it's a wound that's coming to the surface. It's now direct. And so this is really giving you more of an opportunity to do something about it. Aries is an action-oriented zodiac sign, and so there's some sort of action that has really been coming up the entire year, and it's about healing this wound. So it would be your friendships, the relationships you have with these people, whatever that wound looks like for you, it's going to easily blend with how you feel about your significant other. We've seen a lot of this kind of relationship with this person can have a beneficial impact on the relationship with other people. You see a lot of your significant other really helping you here with your friends, healing a wound connected to those friends. And it's going to be the same thing because we see trine to Mercury in Sagittarius. So it's not even how you feel about that relationship. It's the conversations that you're having, the content of the conversations you're having with your significant other. It's going to help you figure out, like, bridge and maybe heal some sort of wound here as it relates to your friends. This Chiron in Aries will sextile Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. And so what this means is whatever work that you're doing to heal that friendship, and think of it as like a collective. It's not necessarily the individual relationships as much as it's all of them. It's creating an opportunity for you to kind of grow and expand on the inside, do a lot of inner growth, a lot of inner soul searching here. So it's an opportunity you're going to have to seize, but it's right there for you to take it. And then we close the month. So we started the month with a new moon. We're closing out the month with another new moon. So this is the new moon in Capricorn. It's going to happen on the 30th at 5:27 p.m. Eastern time. And so again, Capricorn for you is in that death and rebirth house. And so Sun in Capricorn, there might be a lot of ambition and drive coming out of you during this time. I've got these goals. I want to go after these goals. I've got a plan. Let's put my plan into place here. And that's going to conjunct, because it's the sun and the moon, it's going to conjunct, well, if I can get the words out correctly, sun and moon are at the same degree point in the sky, so it's a complete blend of energy. And so the way that you feel about these plans fully aligns with the way that you're talking about them, the way that you want to implement them. So easy blend of energy there. And this new moon will sextile Saturn in Pisces. So any kind of work that you want to do on your career fully lines up with all these plans that you're trying to put into place. Everything that you're trying to accomplish here, these goals that you've set for yourself, these long-term goals, this creates an opportunity for you to work on your ideal career. Step into that role. I like that. Where it does create a challenge, and that's not a surprise because it's literally from the day before, but we do have that square to Chiron in Aries. So this new moon, while it's focused on your long-term goals, maybe releasing some things here, really putting into place some of these plans that you've been thinking of, it's going to make it more difficult for you to heal that wound as it relates to your friends, your group of friends. But it's more of, maybe now's not the right time to handle that. It's more, let's get focused on these goals that we're trying to put into place here and these plans that we're trying to implement. Wow. So Gemini, this is your reading. I hope it resonates. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.